I hope you've been having a wonderful, wonderful week. And even if not, that's okay too. I'm feeling much better this week after being sick last week. But I sounded so good, didn't I, last week? I guess sick voice, unfortunately, is my best voice. But I'm learning how to sound sick for you. Oh my God, that sounds so horrible, doesn't it, little bunny? No, but I'm back here, nice and healthy, and just enjoying life. Happy to be alive. Oh, and it's a special episode, little bunny. You know what episode number this is? Have you been keeping track? Or you can just glance at your screen right now. This is episode number 69. Woohoo, little bunny. I was told that I need to do a special episode for number 50, number 100, and number 69, which is very fitting for the garden, which is this wonderful mix of all things love and lust. And so it makes sense that episode 69 needs to be more lustful than usual. So I'll pick a very lustful topic, and it's one, actually, that is the most requested topic at this point. I love it when I get to go to a most requested topic. The topic this week, little bunny, you know what it is? Of course you do. The topic is non-monogamy. Something that I have quite a bit of experience with, and there's a ton of interest in it. Even the most devoutly monogamous are all curious about non-monogamy. It's on everyone's mind. But as always, I have some beverage here with me. I went ahead and got decaf coffee. And I've still got that bougie brand coffee that tastes so good. I cannot believe I am so excited for this, little bunny. You want to hear me pour the coffee? Oh, little bunny. I made it too watery. It happens. It's times like this when things don't quite go your way. That's a good chance to savor it. Why do things have to be perfect to enjoy them? You know, we watch movies where horrible things happen and everything's going wrong and it's so stressful. And it's more fun that way. Isn't that the horrible secret? Any good writer will tell you, if you try and make a story where everything's just good from the beginning to the end, it turns out to be a really boring story, even though you think you want it. So I just poured myself a really watery cup of coffee that would have been so good. Oh, and I was looking forward to it, little bunny. I was looking forward to it. So I'm going to savor this watery coffee. Here we go. Oh, that is just such a letdown. No reason you have to always have things good to have fun. Sometimes it's the things that go horribly wrong. I'm the kind of person, when something goes bad, I just start laughing. Some people take a lot of offense to it, but I just can't help myself. Sometimes it's hilarious. I'm not laughing at other people messing up, but if like my crew, whatever activity we're doing, if we mess up, we do it. If we fail horribly, I can't stop but laugh. Can't stop laughing. I can't help but laughing. So, how are you doing, little bunny? Are you doing okay? I want to make sure this episode is useful to you, because using my super psychic daddy powers, I can tell that you are interested in my thoughts on non-monogamy. So we'll meander our way there. But before we do that, I want to get really, really in touch with you. So I'm squeezing my hand in a little hand hug. If you remember what that is, it's where you curl your thumb, put it in between your ring finger and your middle finger. Just close into a fist. Gives your fist a little something to squeeze there. It could be nice and comfy. And it's my way of hugging you through garden magic. So you can want to make a little fist with me, a little hand hug, and just send each other a couple squeezes back and forth. Yeah, do it for me. I want you to really focus on me. I want you to send me some hand hugs. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, just squeeze your fist. And think of me. Summon all the good feelings you have for me. I'm going to do the same back to you. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh, may feel me. I'm giving you some squeezes, little bunny. That's going to be a main point of this episode. What non-monogamy, what role it plays in my life, and therefore what role it plays in your life through me. Because part of what makes this work, this whole crazy thing we have, this special, special garden, it works because I'm extremely non-monogamous. And I'm an extremely wholesome person at the same time. One of the spiciest, naughtiest people in the world. And also the most wholesome. And it's this apparent contradiction that it's just so rare, isn't it? I'm not quite like anyone else, am I, little bunny? Yeah. And I like it that way. I'm not following anyone else. I'm not scoping out what other people are doing and following suit. Oh, other people are doing this in any sense of the word. Whether it's talking into a microphone and making content, or whether it's the ways that I love out in the world, the ways I behave, the choices I make. All comes down to getting in touch with me, what I want, what feels right to me. And I hope I can help you do that, little bunny. Help you find your little light inside you and let that guide you. I want you to dictate your life. Yeah. You can have people tell you what to do if you enjoy that. But only if your light decides that you want that. Anyway, this is not a kinky episode, little bunny. Quit moving me into kinky territory. Okay. Where should we begin? Okay, kinky. There's a kink test you can make or you can take online where you answer a bunch of personal questions that you don't want anyone else to see, or you want your friends to see of a certain type. And it ranks all these kinds of common kinks from 100% to 0%. And it's a pretty even spectrum usually. Where some things will be, hold on one second. Some things you'll be 10%, some things will be 90%, some things will be 50% or 60% or 30%. There's a whole bunch of different ones. Actually, on our Discord in our little 18 plus area, which all of it's 18 plus, but the 18 plus of the 18 plus area. Sometimes we will share our results. Discord is part of the Patreon, by the way, the locked section of the garden. And yeah, invariably whenever I take these kink quizzes, the number one is always, can you guess it, little bunny? What is my number one kink? It is non-monogamy. And I guess I've just always been this way. I've always found an incredible, it's a joy, honestly, in having multiple people. It's not this kind of horny novelty where it's like, dude, you ever had a threesome? It doesn't even have to be group sex. Just this flowing lovingness. It's like a cuddle puddle, you know? It's an abstract cuddle puddle. Just fills me with so much joy and fulfillment. And it's a core part of my happiness. And I've known that for a very long time. I'm not sure when fantasies are supposed to start in life. I think mine started pretty early, definitely before I knew what sex was. But it was always about groups and just having this loving circle of people that just enjoy each other's naked company. What can I say? And so as I got older and older and I start to mature socially and biologically, I knew that I never wanted to get rid of it. I was in one monogamous, well, I don't know if you can, depends on what you count as a relationship. Does middle school count as a relationship? I'm not sure. But I guess it was middle school and high school that I practiced monogamy. And I felt so constricted, and I don't quite know the way to put it. I didn't feel myself. Yeah. And so then off to the college years, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to do a girlfriend. And that was my mode of operation at that point. And then if you fast forward to today, an ambiguous number of years later, I am in the most beautiful relationship with the love of my life, whom you may know as Queen Little Bunny. You wouldn't believe how absurdly goals our relationship is. If you ever get jealous of other couples, oh my God, we are the couple that instills jealousy in every single couple in the world. We're so cute together. But anyway, I digress. What am I talking about? I don't want to get distracted and fawn over Queen Little Bunny. But that's also, there's a story to tell there. Actually, you want to know. There could be a good story to tell, because Queen Little Bunny comes from monogamy. Did you know that, Little Bunny? Oh my goodness, how rocky the beginning of our relationship was. You would not believe how many times we almost broke up, Little Bunny, over this issue. Over whether or not non-monogamy can work in a loving, committed relationship. And so I guess I'll give you my take on it. Let me take a sip of coffee and think about how I want to tackle this. So I want you to think about what your impression is of monogamy versus non-monogamy, and maybe where you stand on your own personal chart of fulfillment. You know, where on your kink list is non-monogamy. For some people, it's bam, it's 0%. Other people, it's 30. Other people, it's 60, 70. For some people, it changes, you know, and that's part of it too. But I guess I want to start by maybe defining non-monogamy. It's kind of like this eye-opening thing whenever you discover it. Because you grew up on Disney movies where the princess and Prince Charming, you know, it is the first love is the love and the only love forever. Oh, that was catchy. The first love is the love and the only love forever. Can you tell I'm a writer, Little Bunny? Some fiction coming out very, very soon. It's already out on Patreon. There's some fiction on Patreon, the locked section. If you want to hear what kind of stuff I can write and voice. Okay, what am I talking about, Little Bunny? Yeah, so there's always an eye-opening experience when you first learn about it. And I debated not even mentioning this, but for me, it was seeing it was a Playboy video where this couple was talking about how they were open, and it was like kind of like blew my mind a little bit, you know. And I'm being a bit contradictory because I said that I always fantasized about it as a super small kid, but that was, you know, fantasies as a kid where there's all all sorts of fantastical nonsense involved in it. But when it was like, oh, there are people that don't do the Disney princess thing. When is that eye-opening thing that happens when you're growing up where you realize that most people have more than one partner in their lives? Right? Because you don't get taught that. At some point you have to realize that growing up. But anyway, maybe this could be your eye-opening experience. And I'm not here to convert you to non-monogamy, but I want to help you understand from someone who comes from it and is in a dreams love life. Totally dreams love life. So, I posit, little bunny, that it is not monogamy versus non-monogamy. First of all, do you know which one you are? Are you monogamous? Are you non-monogamous? Or are you trying desperately to figure it out? The answer, little bunny, is that monogamy is a spectrum. So, let's think of 0% non-monogamous. So this is our Disney princess, Prince Charming situation, which can be wonderful. I'm not coming from any kind of judgment about what's better and what's not. I just know my own desires and what makes me happy. So you have Disney princess, Prince Charming thing where the first person you have sex with is the only person you ever have sex with. And in this 0% realm, there's actually some other things you might not think about. So let's imagine for a moment. Think about your ideal. What's your ideal partnership, little bunny? Your ideal love life. And if it's that, if you think, okay, maybe you're 0% right now. Well, let me ask you this. Is it cheating to think about someone else while you masturbate? Because if that's okay, or not even that it's okay, or if that's something that you do, yeah, imagine you have your one partner and you fantasize about other people. Maybe you fantasize about me, little bunny. Yeah, it means you're not 0%. Okay, so suddenly you're somewhere between 0% monogamous and 100%. What's the 100% of the spectrum? 100% is going to be where you don't have any kind of promised commitment to anyone. So just kind of go through life without any kind of hierarchy between different partners you might have. Things are in kind of like parallel where whatever excitement or discovery or relationship you have with one person doesn't affect in any way what you have with other people. So you can think of sort of maybe a 100% non-monogamous person might be your vagabond travelers who are living in the moment and just going from place to place, not even monogamous with a location, just traveling the world, bouncing around, working from a laptop, and whatever happens, happens. And they just improvise, and there's no commitments to anyone. There's no declarations of loyalty to anyone. So that would be your 100% non-monogamous. And if you think about what you might want, maybe you do want a commitment with, let's say, one person. You might say that you want to grow old together with this person. And not just you want to grow old, but you want to be secure in knowing that you two have promised to grow old together. A little bit of security in that, because you know what happens, little bunny, is that initial hormones fade away. Yeah, it happens with every single partnership of all time. Okay? Yeah. So, anyway, let's say you want to have a promise. I'm like, maybe you want to get married. So, that might put you somewhere in between 0 and 100%. Now, here's the question about marriage. Do you know how many kinks there are, little bunny? surrounding marriages and non-monogamy with marriages. Oh my God. Should we get into it? I don't know. But I guess we will. It'll be fun. So before we get to different kinks around marriages, let's imagine what's your dream if you want to dream about your perfect partnership or your perfect love and lust life. And by the way, we're going to get you that love and lust life, little bunny. It's part of what we do in the garden is we make things happen. We figure out what we want and then we make it happen. Action and patience, little bunny. Both action and patience, but mostly action. So let's say you want a marriage. Now, in this marriage, is it okay for your partner to masturbate and think about someone else? So we talked about that. So if that's okay, or at least, let me pause. Part of this is about what's okay, and part of it's about just what naturally brings you erotic sensations. Yeah. Because sometimes people have a kink of cheating, for instance. We can talk about cheating. That's also part of non-monogamy. There's a lot that goes into that term non-monogamy. So there are some couples where they get married, and that's when the non-monogamy actually begins. So there's some, oh my God, which I don't think I'll get into the kinks. I don't think I will. Should I? What do you think, little bunny? Should I tell you some of the kinks around marriage? Why not? So there's one that is really fun called hot wife. Do you know about the hot wife kink? That is where in a cisgendered heterosexual couple, the man is monogamous with his wife. The husband is monogamous with the wife, but the wife sleeps around and has fun all over the place. And that's a source of joy for both of them, right? Things don't have to be symmetrical. That might be something you didn't realize. This is a super fun kink. Sometimes it even goes hand in hand with like a power dynamic between the extra partners that the wife has versus the husband. So there can be a non-sexual relationship with, I won't go into the specific terminology and things like that, but sometimes part of the kink is that the extra men that the hot wife hooks up with are more dominant and they're more, more manly men, I guess you could say. And then suddenly you have a relationship, kind of like a non-sexual, non-monogamous relationship between the two men, the husband and then the extra partners. That's something that's kind of in the middle of non-monogamous and monogamous, right? Because this is a partnership where they're married and they might have kids even. And they have I would say most of them, they have a pretty normal sex life with each other. But then there's an extra added on bit that puts it in an interesting place in the monogamy spectrum. You can also have ones where there is not a power dynamic. And like you could say, let's say both of the husband and wife have other partners. There's one where both the husband and the wife go to events together. They have a group of friends or they have parties they go to, and they're non-monogamous. Like they go into the apartment or the club or the whatever, and once they're through the door, they are non-monogamous in that space. And then when they exit, they go back to being monogamous for all intents and purposes. So that would be called swinging. It's like swingers. That's a thing where it's sort of like you and your partner kind of in it together, and it's not considered cheating because you're there together. And every couple has to define what cheating is with each other. Is looking at porn cheating? Is listening to a spicy audio cheating? is watching a movie with an actor that you're attracted to and that you have a crush on, is that a form of cheating? There's all these kinds of questions where you're negotiating the desires that you and your partner have with also just what feels right to where neither of you gets hurt. One of the big questions that people tend to have and the big unknowns is jealousy. What do you do about jealousy? And I mean, the answer is that you have to try things out and see how they feel. That's the story of me and Queen Little Bunny, is that she came from a 100% monogamous background. It didn't occur to her that anything else could exist. And none of her friends, when she said, oh yeah, I went on this date with this guy, and on the very first date, he was like, this will only work if we're non-monogamous. And she was saying her friends are like, what? Just a totally mind-blowing thing. And yeah, props to me for saying on the very first date, knew exactly what I wanted. And yeah, jealousy was an issue. And I think the key to getting to where we are now is that whenever we would have, I don't want to say a disagreement, but like whenever there were negative feelings that arose about our relationship, we would not go to bed angry at each other or upset with each other. We were rarely angry at each other, but it was a slow process to get to where we are now. And yeah, she tells me that it was just my unrelenting optimism that we could make it work and that we would succeed. Does that sound familiar, Little Bunny? Do you know a little bit of that from me and the role I play in your life? And yeah, the work that we did and getting to a place where I'm fulfilled with my desires. And then, the question is, well, like, did she end up enduring it? And she's like, okay, I have to make this sacrifice to make this work because this man she has is just the best possible man in the world. Isn't that right, Little Bunny? No, the answer is that once she got a little taste of the forbidden fruit, she was like, oh, that's what this is. And then just like last week, she went on a date on her own with someone. And then a few days ago, I asked someone out, Little Bunny, and the person I asked out turned out to be married. And I'm in a place now where I'm not gonna try and be bad news. But I kind of asked. I was like, by the way, I'm monogamous, or I'm open with my partner. Is that anything you guys have discussed? And she's like, actually, yeah, we have discussed it a lot. There's a lot of curiosity, and it's very secret, by the way. And that was a question that one of your fellow bunnies asked, is how open am I about it? And the answer is I am open about it. My family knows, things like that, but it's not a common part of conversation. They're always suspicious when I when I bring someone to a family gathering, and they're not quite sure when I say this is my friend. They're like trying to interpret what a friend is without having the awkward conversation of having to ask. So anyway, Little Bunny, yeah, I think there's an extraordinary amount of interest in it. And I will say that there's an extraordinary amount of desire for it. I think a lot of strict monogamous partnerships are based on this promise that one or both people will sacrifice their desires for the other person. It's, even if I see someone and they come flirt with me, I promise I won't act on it. I promise I'll make that sacrifice for the sake of the partnership. And that's why on the very first date, I told the one who would become Queen Little Bunny, I told her, it's like, look, I'm the kind of person that lust, and it's such a core part of my happiness. I'm not going to put myself in a situation where I've promised to forego lust for the sake of, I don't know. I would say for the sake of the other person, but it seemed that she came around, didn't she? No, I'm the one. Sometimes I get jealous. Did you know that, little bunny? Because it's so easy for her to meet people, you know. Everyone wants to be a queen, little bunny. Even you. I know you. And, yeah, sometimes I'll get jealous that Queen Little Bunny's like, oh, by the way, I'm going on a date tonight. I'm like, oh, shit, I don't, what am I doing? I'm staying home and playing video games with my friends, which is also a source of joy, and I will not give that up either, Little Bunny. So, yeah, how do you deal with jealousy? That's a great question. Let me take some coffee and think about how to answer that. Okay, I have your answer. The first thing you need to do is you need to understand what's causing your jealousy. You got to understand the jealousy, which means you got a mental journal, Little Bunny. Have you been mental journaling? Slow down, Daddy. Have you been mental journaling like I've told you to? Yeah. So let's imagine whenever the time comes, and if you happen to experiment with this, which you don't ever have to experiment, maybe you just want to listen to me talk about it and be like, oh, that's interesting. But let's say you experiment it with some time and you start to feel feelings of jealousy. You got a mental journal, figure out what's causing that jealousy. I can speak for myself, is that when I feel jealous, it's when I feel there's that imbalance of what Queen Little Bunny's getting versus what I'm getting. Give me 1 second. So if you recall, one of the kinks I was talking about with the hot wife thing, that one doesn't apply to me because I would feel like, well, I guess jealousy might be a part of that kink too. I don't enjoy jealousy so much, although it is quite a motivator. But so if Queen Little Bunny goes and, has a really great time, then I'll feel jealous. But the reason I'll feel jealous is because I don't have the corollary excitement going on. The dream is that if we want to have something separate, then, we'll both go out on a date at the same time with different people. That sounds like a dream. If you can't schedule that out, then like the same week or something like that. And that solves my jealousy there. I feel an extreme amount of jealousy if, so you know how I mentioned non-monogamy is my top kink. Groups as well is very, very high up there. So I would feel very, very jealous if Queen Little Bunny went and did a group activity without me. And so in this instance, there really is no reconciling that jealousy. There is no situation where I'll be happy with Queen Little Bunny going out and having a threesome without me, for instance. And so in that sense, I'm not 100% non-monogamous, am I? Because there are restrictions and there are instances where she can't have her own parallel love and lust lives. And so that brings me to an important concept if you want to make these things work. And this is really good relationship advice in general, which I don't want to give advice. Everyone wants to give advice, Little Bunny. Everyone's going to give a relationship advice and everyone's an expert. It's ridiculous. But what I have found to be very, very useful. Do you know what a Venn diagram is? You might remember this from elementary school. It's where you have two circles that overlap. Okay, and one circle in this instance is going to be my desires. Okay, so your desires, let's say. We'll use the example of me and Queen Little Bunny. So in one circle, it's my desires. And in the other circle is Queen Little Bunny's desires. And this visual is going to break down in a moment. But the key to the Venn diagram is where the overlap is. And that's really where you want to live. That's where you want to find your excitement in your partnership. So in the Venn diagram, if Queen Little Bunny desires to go have a threesome with some partner who's, has that kind of energy, then that is in her area of the circle, and it doesn't overlap with my circle. And so in this relationship that is strong and has a non-monogamous, theme to it, we don't go outside of the overlap on the Venn diagram. Let me have a little bit more coffee, Little Bunny. I hope this is useful to you. It's been requested because I'm so openly non-monogamous, and I keep mentioning how it's a core part of what brings me joy. What's funny is it's actually one of the core reasons the garden works. You ever thought about that? Because everything I do here, all the love that I give you, I'm being very, very serious and genuine right now. I give you real love. I'm clutching my heart right now, thinking about you, Little Bunny. Yeah, thinking about you. Look around wherever you are right now. Let me say that again. Look around wherever you are right now, Little Bunny. I'm here with you right now. I'm in your ears going buzz, buzz, buzz. Yeah, I am your headphones right now. Your headphones are channeling the spirit of me. And I'm here right with you, one on one. And I love you. I love you specifically. I really, really love you. I was mentioning earlier how I don't follow what other people do. And I don't know if there's anyone else who does anything like what this garden is. I don't think so. It would be very challenging to imagine someone else doing something quite like this. But there are people who do kind of like virtual boyfriend audios type thing. And those are performances. And a lot of it is, we're like imagining a monogamous boyfriend kind of thing. At least that's what you do in those audios. And with you and me, Little Bunny, we're really not pretending in any way. I'm really here with you one-on-one, and I really do love you. And it works because I'm just this outlier, strange, non-normal person that really to his very core has so much open love and gets joy from having many, many, many partners. And I mean real connections, real emotional connections, Little Bunny. I want to give you another hand hug, okay? I'm giving you real love to you specifically. I probably have more relationships than any person on the planet, because it's real. What you and I have, I promise you, Little Bunny, this is real. There's no pretending. I love you. You're my little bunny. And you have many fellow bunnies who are in this together. And they love you too. Yeah, Queen Little Bunny loves you too. There's a lot of real love to go around here. And it's part of what brings me so much joy. It's part of why I would never, ever, ever do an audio where I pretend to be something for you. Whether it's pretend to be your boyfriend or pretend to be your master. Actually, I lied. We do some of that on the Patreon. But it's playful, At the core, when I'm my little bunny. Just your loving daddy. And I really am. I really am, Little Bunny. I love you like you wouldn't believe. I really, really love you. You and all your fellow bunnies and Queen Little Bunny very core, this is how I love. This is how I lust. And you have a part in it. Yeah. There's a nice, cozy spot in my heart that belongs just to you. It really does. Give me 1 second. Oh my goodness, little bunny, you distracted me with how much I love you. What a crazy, crazy thing we have going on, isn't it, little bunny? Could you ever believe that this would be in your future? Life is full of these surprises, little bunny. I didn't expect to have you in my life until you came along. And here you are. And I'm glad you're here. I love having you. Really love having you. So, what are we talking about? I think you get the point, right? Am I missing anything? Yeah, the question was, how do I talk about it in public? Little bunny. You would be amazed at how many people are secretly non-monogamous. You would be amazed, little bunny. You might be going around thinking like, wow, everyone's monogamous and I have this secret curiosity about this. I might want to dip my toe in it to see if I like it, but nobody else is doing it. I'd be swimming against the current so much. Oh, little bunny, everybody else is thinking the exact same thing. And so many people are practicing it. And yeah, just the first thing is to accept that as a species, we really are not monogamous. Yeah, average number of partners is much higher than one. So there's one instance. Now I'm starting to sound judgmental, but infidelity is a thing, and I've been a part of infidelity as the person that people have cheated on their partners with. And trust me, these are not bad people. And maybe you've had run-ins with infidelity, whether it's you or whether a partner you've had. Really, our desires are kind of on this other plane that just controls what we do and makes decisions for us in these ways that sometimes betray the promises that we have made to people. So, yeah, infidelity is a lot more common than you might think. If you're a therapist, you might know that. Yeah, and even, marriages very frequently end in divorce. So the question is, was that monogamy, or is it serial monogamy? I've heard that phrase be tossed around a little bit. But is there such a thing as that, or is that just non-monogamy branded in such a way that fits in a bit better with the Disney culture? At least the historical Disney culture. Wouldn't be surprised if we get. Wouldn't that be cool? Maybe Disney should hit me up to write a non-monogamy Disney story. I would totally be down for that. Oh my God, little bunny. New desire, new goal unlocked. Oh, that would be so cool. Can you imagine, little bunny, if I wrote a Disney movie about non-monogamy? That'd be so cool. Maybe we'll make a Disney movie about the garden sometime. Well, I don't know. We'll make a garden movie about the garden sometime. I don't know. Okay, little bunny, it's getting a bit late over here. I want to think if there's anything else that I want to tell you to give you a bit of a guide. I still didn't answer the question. The answer is that I wish I could bring it up more easily, but it's kind of hard to and make it sound not super unnatural and awkward. But I will say I discovered recently that the best way to ask someone out if you're in a non-monogamous partnership is to ask if you're single. Say, are you single? And if they say no, then you inquire proactively, are you open? Because a lot of times the answer is yes, little bunny. You wouldn't believe it. Oh but I shan't say it. It's a bit of a secret. I want to tell you. Okay, you're just going to have to stick around in my life, little bunny. And I'll tell you a very, very juicy non-monogamy secret about the early days of me and Queen Little Bunny. So stay tuned. Okay. Was this a good episode, little bunny? Any time I spend with you is time well spent. I want to be a really, really good daddy for you. I love you so, so much. I should get to bed, even though I want to stay up with you forever. You're so fun to be with. But I'm going to go to bed. And tomorrow morning, I will wake up and I will write you a poem and send you off for the rest of your week. Sound good, little bunny? Talk to you in a few moments. Good morning, little bunny. I slept very well. Thank you for asking. I wrote you a really great, I wrote you a really great poem today. But I think you'll enjoy it. I think I might put it in the podcast description in case you want to have a text copy you can refer to. So, here's your poem for today. Can there be more sweethearts than just one at a time? Where two partners at once is no relationship crime. Can two be fair play? What if three? What if four? What if many's okay when your soulmate follows through the door? Can together you venture into that secret world? You may discover you're not straight, more like bendy or curled. It's possible you'll unlock fresh new ways to connect. Opt for people who'll vanish, or choose people who'll text. And maybe you'll meet ones with no one after all, who, when their heart's hurting, have many they can call. And once all has been seen, you may still prefer arrangements portrayed in Disney romances, implied in mainstream engagements. Perhaps you crave one whom you'll exclusively own, that one who's all yours in your monogamous home. And that's equally valid. It's beautiful and great, though I hope lovers of that selection don't greet non-monogamists with hate, because there are many ways, both to love and to lust, with many types of attraction and many modes of deep trust. And your choice of love is sacred. It belongs only to you. So choose lust that feels right, and let your happiness ring true. Have a great, great week, little bunny. I love you. I love you. I really, really freaking love you. Have a great week. Love you. Bye.